a higher chance of having higher chance density, and it's Matoya's cave right off the bat. So 3 chests. Do we get good amounts of money? A cap. Ooh, ice sword. They all have fighters. They can use that. So fighters already rocking out pretty good gear right away. If good level 1 magic may be expensive, you can sell that ice arm or that ice sword if needed. Exit, life. That is learnable by all the promoted fighter and red mage. Nice. Zap. Very good. You know, it's time magic. Not many enemies can resist it. Bane. That's good. Fire 3. Well, that's, you know, it's not an instant kill spell, but it kills a lot of things. What do we got in the armory? Silver armor, not too important for way too much. Not a whole lot in the weapons department, but we have pretty good spells here. We're looking pretty good. Houses are cheap. Tents are cheaper. 23 gold. So houses are, well, the housing market is a little low. That's good. Unfortunately, ooh, Cheeseinator spent all the money. So did Shadow Wisher. Oh no. If these imps are deadly, good thing we have tents. This could be dangerous. It could have been dangerous. Good thing we got that tent, though. Cheeseinator Shadow Wisher makes easy work. Gets level 3 for their light warriors. That increases their magic capacity, being able to cast more spells. Now they have access to level 2 magic. Cheeseinator making the play, going up to Temple Fiends. Temple Fiends also has a high chance of getting higher chest density, but it is the Dwarf Cave. Big money, 11,000. Yes, please. All right. So one thing of note, I believe I've seen everybody had at least a fighter with rainbow mages. Oh, no. Shadow Wisher has the thief in the second slot, so that's a little bit of a difference here. I like the thief. The thief, it fixes our inn. Dwarf Cave is Elflin Castle. That'll be interesting. So now we have our first really big route divergence here of sorts. Matoya's, oh boy, that's Mirage. We actually have access to the air orb early because we don't need Chime to get into it. So this is a nice play by Cheeseinator. Going to check out these chests here. If he can get through, that's a nice... Ooh, vampires with thunder. That's not what you want to see. That means if they have to go through that rod lock, that rod, or that the vampire holding right there, if they try to do it at a lower level, could be very deadly. Thunder is a very powerful lightning spell. Well, it's not a spell. It's actually a skill, but very deadly. Yes, they do know what it is. It is from the Darkling Derby that's actually going to be happening next week. This is the Elite 8 flags. So they've already been practicing it. Most of the runners have already been practicing them. So this is just kind of showcase what they're capable of, showcase the flags to everybody out there and stuff like that. So, yep, they've all experienced it. They know kind of what's going on with this, so it's going to be interesting. Shadow Wisher's following right behind Cheeseinator. Cheeseinator's gone to Provoca, and it is Lefane. Alright, well, you can't really do much here. You get some information, though. If Cheeseinator decides to check level 8 magic, says nope. We are leaving. Cinnamon Bee, a little bit slower. Trying to get out of Canaria, but I believe took some more fights. Got the 11,000 from the Dwarf Cave. So, you know, buying some equipment, being a little more cautious. And Elflin is Melman. So if we find an early slab, we can now we can do that whole little fetch quest. Look at Shadow Wisher. In your top left, has dove into the second floor of Mirage, making the way, using that thief, the thief's ability to get, how do I say this? Initiation, being able to run from these things. Mage Staff pick up, a heal helmet, more stuff to sell. Mage Staff is good, cast level, or fire 2. Come on, pay off 4. Not bad. Wasn't great. She does have the exit spell. So, you know, good amount of equipment. It would have been better if it would have been like a chain or, you know, like a key item. Or if it had been, you know, Masa. Well, Masa's incentivized, but it could have been loose. You know, it was a nice play. I like it. I like the aggressiveness that she showed there. Uh-oh. Wolves with stone. Was that a stone touch, or was that the poor white mage on Cinnamon Bee is stoned? It is a gnome ornament. Level 5 magic Brack. Okay, that's helpful. That can at least help take out Kraken and Tiamat early. Welcome, Thunderclawed. Yeah, unfortunately, you're a little late. It's alright, though. Alright, Shadow Wish is about to check out, find out Provoke is Lefane. Cinema Bee right behind her. Cheesinator, probably a little more in the lead at this point. Has the exploring lead, not by much, though. The only difference is Shadow Wisher's kind of checked out Mirage level 2, so pretty similar. Oh, no. Marsh is actually Titans East. Interesting. But the canal is open. He's actually checking right now. Oh, wait, he's got Northwest Castle, too. So, oh. All right, we found Temple of Fiends. This is good. But no save item. Trying to run away from the bones, but the bones are not having any of it. Yeah, we can definitely post it for you. Sure, no problem. Cheesinator, Fire 3. See you later, Garland. We'll see you in the next time loop. Yeah, sure. We can post that for you right now, as Cheesinator, I believe, is going to check out some more here. These are the... This is actually the flags and everything like that they are playing on currently. Cheesinator's out. We haven't found Canaria Castle, so he cannot actually talk to the king and the princess yet. But the good news is he's got it over with now, and when he finally reaches the Canaria Castle, he'll be able to turn those in. Heal potions for 9 gold. Wow. Okay. Pure potions for 35. That's cheap. Soft potions for 138. Now that's nice to see. I think Cheesinator just realized that the bridge is open. Oh, we got our first bridge scene here for Cheesinator. It's always kind of entertaining to watch a runner, you know, see that. Elfland Castle. Cheesinator is probably, you know, a little sad. He's going to have to go back, make his way back to the ship. This is where we're going to see a lot of route divergence, probably. Do they check Melman? Most likely. Do they go to Earth Cave and Titans? Or do they make a gamble, go to Crescent? Or do they go to Onrak? It is extended open progression. We have a dock. Oh, I forgot about Elfland Castle. Cheeky check by Cheesinator. It is Marsh Cave. Now, Marsh Cave is not incentivized, but there is a decent amount of chests here. Shouldn't be too bad with the Fire 3 spell. Cinema Bee is on the ship. Shadow Wisher is just behind Cheesinator here, about to kill Garland. Looks like Cinema Bee, where are you going? Looks like... Gonna go check out Dwarf Cave, which we know is Elfland Castle. The princess has been saved by Shadow Wisher. Hooray, our hero. Cheesinator checked the top side of Marsh. Didn't really find anything. Reset out or exited. And has now made his way down to the bottom floor of Marsh. Lots of chests here. We also have a better trap tiles. So that is something to understand also. What does a better trap tiles mean? Well, that means that certain spike tiles are actually will have a better chance of giving you good items like the Excalibur, the Vorpal, pro rings, ribbons, that kind of stuff. Things that are really useful. So actually checking these spike tiles is very beneficial because they could find a really good item there. Cinema Bee is a little bit behind Shadow Wisher and Cheesinator. Not very much. It is a very close race at this point. Shadow Wisher probably going to check out Northwest Castle, or Elfland Castle here. Do the same thing Cheesinator's doing. Light Axe, good find. Cast the Harm 2 spell. Ooh, Shadow Wisher skips out on Marsh, but it's okay though because Marsh really didn't pay off much for Cheesinator at this point. So it's not going to hurt her very much. So right now, she essentially kind of took the slight exploration lead at this point. Melman is Gaia. Yeah, only a pro ring. A pro ring's good, but generally you can buy those. So Cheesinator is going to buy some camping equipment. Shadow Wisher's already done that. So, she takes a slight lead at this point. Wooden armor, cloth, iron helm. That's not very useful. Checks out the weapons. We got a silver sword, short sword. Ooh, cat claw. Yeah. Way too much money, though. Buys a rapier. Not bad. The good thing about a rapier is a knight fighter can make a good use of a weapon equipped. So, might as well have a weapon equipped, but she already had the ice sword. So she makes the play, goes from Melman, gonna go check out Titan's East location and the Earth location and see out where they have been shuffled into. Earth floor is Titan's East. Cheesinator coming up right behind Shadow Wisher, about to find the great news of Gaia being here in Melman. Cinema Bee about to make their way over to Melman, so we're about to have a 3-player high five. Cake is level 7. Oh, and Earth Cave is Ordeals. That is incentivized. Fire 3 can do a good amount of work here. Zap can also do a good amount of work here, so not too bad to actually go down this. But you got to get through this teleporter maze. You got to do it quickly since they are lower level and they're not going to have as many magic charges to kill off these somewhat beefy or potentially beefy enemies that are in here. As the poor thief on Shadow Wishers gets destroyed, one hit KO'd by the Zombles. Cheesinator finds Earth Cave. Will he check? Now, one thing I should also point out is the spike tiles have been shuffled. So the blue dragon is now shuffled into a different spike tile. The cobras have been changed over. Earths, all the usual spike tiles that you would normally run into in the original game are now in different locations. So the eye tile is in a different location. And Shadow Wisher making her way through Ordeals. Cheesinator trying to collect some items here in that first floor Earth Cave. The Nightmare Trap tile, or Spike tile, has been changed to Iguanas and Giants, so that's not really worth it. Ooh, Katana. Big pickup for Shadow Wisher there. Once that thief gets promotion, that is a crit machine ninja. And especially with the fixes that have been set in this, ninjas gain double hit. Ooh, Ruby. They can actually go back to Marsh. I believe it was Marsh that had the Titans East. And they can actually use that little the Titans West exit to end up in a totally different location. Sometimes those actually have progression that way. So does Shadow Wisher do the Ruby turn in? Or does she continue to go to Crescent, which could be a Provoca, and Bicky has progression? Or does she end up in, let's say, the Crescent, and the Old Men have progression? Many options are available, and I like... She's going to go to Crescent, looks like. Cheesinator making his way down deeper into the Earth Cave. Cinema B checking out Marsh. We know as spectators does not have. Oh, I thought it was. Thought it was Marsh. I lied. It is actually Earth Cave. So Cinema B and Cheesinator are both in the Earth Cave. Cheesinator didn't really find anything much on the Earth Floor 1. So Cinema B kind of wasting time, but at the same time, he does not know that. Ooh, floater. Big pickup. Look at that. The big play by Shadow Wisher goes to Crescent, doesn't follow that ruby line, and buys the floater. Level 6 nuke. Shadow Wisher is going to be in the air. We have extended open progression. There is a dock at the Ryokan Desert where you can turn in the floater. And the canoe pickup by Shadow Wisher. The whole world has just opened up for Shadow Wisher. Question in chat. How long would you say it would take, or be at least somewhat competitive? Also, what should someone prioritize when practicing? It all depends. We see Shadow Wisher here, actually. Crescent was Crescent, and Gaia is Provoca. It all depends. To be completely honest, if you're very used to the original game, you can do somewhat well. And when I mean well, you should be about the 2-hour mark, 2.5-hour mark on a general seed. That isn't like a challenge seed or something where there's high clamp bosses and stuff like that. I say that because you already know the layout of everything about the game. Now, if you're coming in new, it's going to be a little longer because a lot of these maps can throw you off and you don't know when you're in go mode and stuff like that. So it really depends on your experience in the original game. Now, Cheesinator is making his way through the Earth Cave. Cinema B has gone back to Melman, which is Gaia. Shadow Wisher has picked up the Oxyel that was in Provoca. The Biggie had Oxyel. And Shadow Wisher is actually going to make her way down to Lefane. That can either be Elflin or Onrak. Duckling, this is a showcase. It's a fun race for our ducklings, to kind of get them in the mood for next week's Duckling Derby, which is happening. It's a 3-day tournament, and it's going to be great. And ooh, wow! Look at Shadow Wisher here. Makes the play. Does Lefane pays off? It is Elflin. Gets warp. Temper is level 3. This is great stuff. If this had been Onrak, I don't feel nearly as good diving down into a seafloor at her levels. But Elflin at this point, getting all these spells, Fade, can't be learned by any of that. That is level 4 white magic that can actually be learned. So, unfortunate. But life 2 pick up for the red mages. That is nice. Cheesinator making his way through ordeals, following Shadow Wisher's steps now. It was interesting. In the start, Cheesinator had the lead. Shadow Wisher was following what he was doing. Now it's the other way around. This is going to be big on where Cheesinator goes. Does Cheesinator follow the Ruby, or does he go to Crescent? If he goes to Crescent, he won't fall nearly as behind because Crescent Lake has the floater and the canoe. And it looks like Cinema B is actually over in the Crescent area. We see the EXP Peds. So Cinema B makes the good play and goes over that way. Shadow Wisher using that awesome airship. Going to make her way. Gonna do Volcano. Which volcano is Ice Cave. Oh boy. She does have warp. She can do it, probably wouldn't be that bad. And Ice Cave is incentivized. She is making that play with that warp spell. Why not? I don't know if she's high enough for it. It was level 3. And Red Mage needs level 6, so she is level 6, so she has the warp spell. No problem at all. Cinema Bee gets the good news. Oh, doesn't have enough for the floater, though. Uh-oh. Unless he's already bought it. Time to make some money, Cinema Bee. Cheeseinator making his way back. All right. This is going to be big for Cheeseinator. Which way does he go? If he goes to where Cinema Bee is, we already know floater and canoe. No, he's following the ruby. Nope. Where's he going? He's playing games with me. Another katana pickup by Shadow Wisher and a crown. Oof. Looks like he's gonna do the ruby. He's doing the ruby turn-in. He's gonna feed the Titan. Making his way over there while Shadow Wisher's checking out the Ice Dragon spike tile. It is fire elements. Ooh, power bonk pickup. Flame sword pickup. Wow. Shadow Wisher just making the plays here. I like it. Decides not to take on those fire elementals again. Warps out, comes back down. This spike tile right here she's about to hit must have been a lot easier. Titan's Trove. Was it worth anything? No. Unfortunate. Cinema Bee unfortunately has a lawn ornament and is his top row fighter. And Cheeseinator just wanted to follow suit also and has a lawn ornament. Gargoyles for Shadow Wisher. That is the Frost Wolf trap tile. Didn't really hold much, unfortunately. Cabins, more gold. Not a whole lot there. But she's already picked up her incentivized the key item, which was the crown in here. So she only has to do one cycle of Ice Cave. Now the important thing here is for Cinema Bee. Does he remember that he can go to the floater? It is extended open progression. Cheeseinator. The Titan's Warp landed him in Ice Cave. The Ice Cave entrance led him there. And Shadow Wisher checks the White Dragon or the eye tile, and it ends up being the Ice Dragon. So she says, "Nah, I'm good," and leaves. So at this point, Cheeseinator is going to make the correct call here. Going to go to Crescent. Going to get that progression. Going to go in the air. So how it works, yeah, so if you take all the spike tiles, right, and you put them in a giant, I don't know, a duffel bag, and you just randomly started picking things out, saying, okay, this spike tile is going to be, and you pull it out, this. It's the eye formation. And then that's exactly what they did for every single spike tile. Sarda ends up being a Cardia Isles, but it's treasure, so that's not too bad. Bunch of money. Cheeseinator made his way over to Crescent now, finally. Gonna talk to the not so confused old men here. Ooh, Cinema Bee making the dive down into the seafloor here. Interesting. And then play bingo. Hello, Feywinds. Welcome, 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 everybody. For everybody out there, as you can see in the middle, it is a Final Fantasy Duckling Derby. It is a showcase of all of our newer runners. Some of them are slightly older runners, a little more veterans, but they're all in the newer thing, and they're known as the Ducklings. This is a weekly event we're going to do. It leads up into the Duckling Derby, which is actually next week. It's a 3-day tournament, and then we'll actually be doing a weekly event after the Derby itself. When we find a loose rod. Loose rod by Cinema Bay. So that is a nice pickup for Cinema Bay. So there's our first of 2 loose items. The rod allows us access to the Earth Fiend Lich. We already know where the Earth floor is. That was Titan's East. Cheeseinator back in Provoca over here. Must have been trying to buy some stuff here, maybe sell some stuff. Gold armor. Ooh, that's a nice pickup. That's her second best caster armor. Ruse is level 2 white magic. That is big. You'll definitely take Ruse landing in the first 3 spots. Casts Dispel Ruse. What does that do? Well, it's twice as effective as an Invis 2 for raising evade, but it can only be casted on 1 person. White shirt pickup by Shadow Wisher. As I was just saying, Invis 2 allows you to increase all of your party members' evade. And it doesn't have a cast limit. You can just keep casting it. So that's big. Silver armor. That can go on a red mage at this point. If she wants to put it on a red mage, that's a pretty good amount of armor. Or you can give it to your fighter. It doesn't really matter at this point. Don't forget, Shadow Wisher, you can equip that power bonk on a fighter. It actually gives armor. You don't need to promote to be able to equip that power bonk on a fighter. I think Cinema Bay has forgotten that he has the canoe. Unless he already checked Waterfall. It's okay. I have done it. Everybody has done it at least once. We have found Canaria Castle. Gina has found Canaria Castle. We have found Adamant and Tail. And an Excalibur from the Better Trap Tiles by Shadow Wisher. So, wow. Nice pickup there. Ooh, a ribbon pickup for Shadow Wisher also. So that Swamp Cardia Isles. Wow. Apparently, the Bahamut's Cave is in the original Bahamut location. So that's kind of interesting. So Cheeseinator is going to get promoted. That'd be good for Shadow Wisher. If she could get a promoted party right now, that ninja will be able to use a katana. Then you're going to see a whole lot of damage coming from that. As you're about to see from Cheeseinator, that ninja will start doing a lot of damage here, especially once he starts gaining levels. The crit chance that the katana brings is amazing. It allows you to bypass high absorb enemies a lot easier. And we found Sarda. Cheeseinator is just making great use of this Cardia Isles. Found the Canaria Castle. Found the Bahamuts already. Found Sarda. Gets the crystal. He already knows where Matoya is. Is he going to go turn in the crystal right away? Looks like it. Cinema B in the bottom left is getting picked on by the fish. About to find out that there is a dock here. It's okay though. Cinema B about to get in the air. Alright, where does he go from here? Cheeseinator turning in the crystal. In your upper right. Let's see what Matoya gives. What does this crazy lady that can't see the slab? We have access to Melman, and we have access to provoke out or Lefane. So that'll be an easy turn-in for him also. Ooh, Ice Armor by Shadow Wisher. You know what? I just realized by everybody out there, these levels that these runners have are very low at this point. It's going to be interesting. We're about 30 minutes in. 31 minutes in. And Shadow Wisher's level 7. Cheesinator, maybe a little bit higher. I haven't seen Cinema B's levels, but might be a little bit higher, not by much. Zozo Melman is not on, so Cheesinator doesn't have to worry about any encounters here. Goes to sees what Volcano is. It is Ice Cave. He knows he's going to have to go there eventually. Yep, he's going to go to Provoke, which is Lefane. Turn that in, see what leads to there. All right, translation ribbon. Okay, incentivized ribbon. So 2 of the 3 ribbons have been found. Not what you kind of want to see, but you're glad to see it. A ribbon gives you the resistances to all element spells. Resistances doesn't mean necessarily that you can't be killed by them, but it reduces the chance of you actually dying down to a whopping 3%. So you have like a 3% chance to die every time somebody casts an instant spell on you. Checking the Agamo tile, or the Agamo spike tile by Shadow Wisher was the Grey Worms. Not very great. We're about to see what the Volcano, old incentivized key location is. It is not actually incentivized here. Ooh, mute. That can be annoying. But she runs from it and says, haha. Ooh, Gargoyles with Blaze. That's not what you want to see at all. Oh boy. That Red Wizard's holding on for dear life. If another Blaze comes out, that Red Wizard is... Ooh, oh! The 3rd ribbon is found. She has life, so it's not all bad. But that was rough. What is this random? This is Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy from the NES. It has been... we actually sped up the game a little bit because we all know if you ever played the original Final Fantasy, it is a very slow-moving game. The battle animations, the menuing, all that stuff is really slow. So we kind of, sped it up. We gave it a dash feature that is actually normal if you're walking. And so the Duckling Derby... Ducklings is what we call our newer players. And we are actually having a tournament next week. It is 3 days. If you actually give me a moment here, I will give you the link to it. And it's a 3-day tournament. Whoever wins will actually get promoted to... will no longer be called a duckling kind of a thing. It's a way of kind of having our ducklings compete, showcasing the FFR, the community, and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So here is the Duckling Derby website. If you want to come take it out, that'll show you all the times for the event and stuff like that. That will be broadcasted here on Speed Gaming. But that is a 3-day event, and it gets progressively harder. So it's to really challenge our newer players to be able to cope with it. So this is the Elite 8 version, or the Elite 8 flags. So there are some things that are in here to kind of throw them a curveball. But right now, these ducklings are making pretty short work. We haven't seen a whole lot of dangerous stuff except for gargoyles with blaze. Nothing that really stands out. Shadow Wisher picks up the herb, so we're going to see where that leads eventually. We've already found Elfland Castle, and as you can see by Cheesinator, it kind of runs into that blazing gargoyles. And Shadow Wisher finds what Cinema Bay or B had already found, which is the seafloor. Will she decide to take the dive down? Now, one thing that's important is if she decides to go down the mermaid side, which is the side that she's on right now, the loose rod is down this way where the mermaids are. So this is a big pickup. This is a required item that allows her to get to where Lich is, which is the Fiend of Earth. So the rod is a very important. It is required. So at least one of the loose items is required. Now, Fire 3 is not going to do a whole lot against these sea monsters, but she really doesn't have much. And it looks like these sea snakes actually have very little health. Maybe about 80. Less than 100 for sure. And of course I say that, and I am completely wrong. It looked like they were, because they died to 2 Fire 3s, but one of them must have gotten through the resistance. Cheesinator is in the ice cave, making his way through, picks up the crown finally. We haven't seen Northwest Castle yet, so we don't know where Astos is hiding. Cinnamon Bee is hanging out in Elfland, buying spells, getting ready. Looks like Cheesinator needed to buy a couple more camping equipment. Never go home without camping equipment. Rule of thumb. Always try to have heals, pures, and a couple softs. Oh, was it Cardia Forest? Oh, thank you very much, there. Our tracker, everybody. This guy is coming and is reminding me of where it's at. And of course, I'm not trying to put any pressure on you. We're about to find out here. Look at that. Our tracker knows what's going on. This is why he gets paid the big bucks. So apparently the kindly old king was playing with explosives. All right, it's a good thing we're about to take him down, though, because we can't let him be playing with explosives on a tiny island. There you go, the VJP1369. There is the link to the Duckling Derby information. Opal Armor was also in the Mermaids. I missed that earlier, so that's a nice set of equipment once the knight gets promoted. Ooh, the key. That is another required item. Now, the reason why the key is required here, for anybody that doesn't know... Ooh, Dragon Armor by Cheesinator. So, the key in the original game, you found it really early, so it never really played any part in Temple of Fiends Revisited when you're making the when you're making the travel of 2,000 years in the past. But when you actually make it back in time, there is a door that's actually locked, and if you don't have the key, you're basically trapped inside this small little room, and you can't go anywhere. So the key actually became very much required to beat the game. Cheesinator unfortunately reset out, has to take on Astos again. Oh, he dropped the dragon armor, so he had to reset that. I was wondering why he went back to Astos. You look around for a split second, and I'm wondering why he's... I don't know. It was the time loop. Shadow Wisher, top left. Fiend's probably the most annoying group you can find, essentially, in the seafloor. So this is a showcase of sorts, or it's a showcase to show off a lot of our newer players. It was also to create interest into the Duckling Derby that is going to be next week. So to tell who's in the lead, Cheeseinator is in the slight lead at this point. The progression-wise and levels, at this point, Cheeseinator is probably in the lead. It's not a very big lead. I would say it kind of depends on where Shadow Wisher lands up here. But Cheeseinator is definitely in the lead now that he's got the key and stuff like the key. Because right now he's going to Canaria Lock. This is incentivized, and we're about to find out exactly. Ooh, the defense sword. So that casts Ruse. That's actually a really good find, and we're about to find out what this location holds for us. It's the cube. Another required item. We already have access to the Mirage floor. We now have access to Tiamat. So right now, Cheeseinator, I believe, has access to... he has access to Tiamat and Carry if he has found the volcano floor. He's checking some spike tiles here. Cinema B about to do the warp trick here. Gonna levitate. Finds the crown. So that's a good pickup for Cinema B. That leads to the key, which is required. Just got to make his way through the rest of the ice cave because he's got to check for that one last loose item, or he could gamble. He was the first one to find the rod that was loose originally, so he already has the information to know. And Shadow Wisher is about to find her tail and adamant right here. So she's going to be promoting. Cheesenaitor's lead is slowly shrinking at this point. Very slowly. It's not... He definitely has a slight lead at this point. Alright, so Shadow Wisher probably going to go back, talk to Bahamut here. Yep, going to get that promotion. Oh, those fire elementals had stone touch. Oh, that is great. But Cinema B made sure to have lots of camping equipment. 11 softs will be able to revive them. And Cheesenaitor's making the seafloor play here. I like it. Okay. Well, I say seafloor play and I mean waterfall. It is not procedurally generated, so he doesn't have to worry about trying to find the randomly generated room. So that's at least good for him. Cinema B making... He's got to watch out for these gargoyles. We have seen that they have almost wiped each of our runners. Gets good turn order, but he also had a lot better health compared to our other runners when he entered in. Shadow Wisher about to find out this is Northwest Castle. Says, alright, I have the crown. Let's turn that in. Finds out that the Crazy King was trying to explode the island. No. They revive with whatever HP that they have. So, the only time that they revive with 1 HP is with the Life 1 spell when they're dead. They revive with 1 HP. Now, one thing to note is if they are turned to stone and you walk over a lava tile or the ice lava tiles, if you want to call it, they still take damage. So that's how they can be at 1 HP for the entirety of the game if they're already stoned. Alright, Cheesenator says, I am done with that waterfall. Exits out, says see you later. Shadow Wisher is going to Ordeals. We're going to see what Ordeals has here. We haven't seen... Haven't we seen at this point? We're about to find out, though. Ooh, more Cardia treasure. Is this where the loose item is? The second loose key item. The only other non-key item that can be... So we still haven't found the Masa. That is incentivized. So that is still out there. It could be loose. It could also be behind something. We don't know yet. We still need the loot. Loot is required to get through that giant plate that's blocking our way into the past. Shadow Wisher looks like she is turning in all this stuff. So one good thing about Shadow Wisher is she is now turning in Adamant, TNT all in one go. She's going to check the Dwarf Locked chest. She's going to get that Dragon Armor. So it's all going to be one stop there. Plus she's got Matoya's Cave to turn in the crystal. So pretty nice. Pretty nice routing by her. We can actually equip that Dragon Armor there. So that's a good pickup for that Knight. That Knight is going to be able to have some good armor. Cinema B hanging out in Volcano. Gonna, well, hang out in the lava tiles for a little while. Gonna check out these chests here that aren't really checked a whole lot because they're kind of out of the way. Most people kind of do them at the end after... Ooh, Masa. Ooh, Masa from the herb. All right. I don't think Cheeseinator has actually turned that in yet, so can Shadow Wisher make use of that pickup to kind of catch up or and extend the lead while Cheeseinator hasn't done that yet? So if I'm correct, Shadow Wisher, the only thing we need at this point is a loot. Shadow Wisher just needs the loot at this point, and I think it is the loose item. Welcome to chat, MG Weirdo, as Cheeseinator has picked up the loose rod. That is our first loose rod. I have already pointed it out. So that is good news for Cheeseinator. Shadow Wisher is buying level 1 spells for that Knight, for that Ninja. It is a Dang and Woo production. I am Dang Woo. I'm broadcasting to all you fine people out there. It's very true. It could be after the bottle, but either way, it's going to lead to the loot. So it could be a loose bottle into loot. I mean, the loot's out there. We got to find it. So I believe it's going to be bottle into loot. But I am Dang Woo. I have tracking with me as Thier. He is the one keeping me honest, making sure that you guys have all that information. And Cheeseinator is making the play. Going to probably take on Kraken. Cheeseinator's levels are about 17, 18. Thank you for stopping by, The True Hero. I hope you enjoyed your stay, and I hope you enjoyed a little FFR action. Yes, to answer the question, Thundercloud, yes, they have checked Titan's chests. Now, the chime has been found. I know that. I believe it is here. No, that's the ribbon. So the chime has been found. So they can still check Mirage. Because that is going to be, randomly swapped with something. That Fear is tracking. That guy right there. Fear 1989. And there's the bottle. Crack inside. Loose. That is the second loose item. Cheesinator is essentially, is in go mode. That is go mode for Cheesinator right there. He should know this since he's found all of the items at this point. He has Rod. He went down the mermaid side. He has Rod. And that bottle, based on the key items that he's found, has to lead to loot. Zombie dragons. Not too scary. Shadow Wisher going back to Canaria. Knows that the incentivized location is here. Cinema B hanging out in Volcano still. Had a wipe or two there, I seen. Still plugging away. That's what we like to see by our newer players there. You wipe, you reset, and you go back in, or you choose a way. Choose your pathing, and you move on with it. You don't want to sit there and wait. That is great temperament by him. Great attitude. The percentages of the bosses, 43% is the minimum. 30% is the maximum for both enemies and bosses. And Shadow Wisher makes the play. Is going to check out Mirage. Now, I don't believe there's going to be anything good here. We've already seen all the fiend dungeons. I was going to say, yeah, this is just Acardia Isles. But she doesn't know where that loose item is, so she's got to check it. She's looking for that last loose item so that she'll be in go mode. Yeah, they probably don't need to grind very much, but at the same time, they have been very low level for a long period of time. So, maybe catching up a little bit isn't so bad. And in Cheesinator's case, we're at 53 minutes in, maybe grind up and just go mode everything. You hit, 24 at most. Your ninja and your knight can just start hammering stuff with the masa and the katana, and you just go from there. So Shadow Wisher makes her way back into Gaia. I don't think she has bottle, unless she picked it up and I didn't notice it. No, she's picking up camping equipment. But the top right, Brack spell. Will it do it? No, ineffective. The defense sword swing by the knight. 9 hits for 217 by Kraken. Swings back. More fast casts. More Bracks. Will the Brack work this time? No, ineffective. Round 2. Kraken swings. See you later, Black Mage. Ooh, Kraken rolled low. Basically 2 shots Kraken. All right. Well, that works. Cheesinator lights the first orb. Cheesinator on the board. Takes the orb lead. So a 1-0 orb lead. Shadow Wisher is in Earth Cave. Now, it's not terrible. When I say terrible, I mean it's good because Rod's there and she's going to hit, she's going to clear everything. But as a spectator here, we already know where the bottle is. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's a smart play by her. She's going to get an orb lit, and it only takes, let's say, an extra 3 minutes to complete a full clear of Earth, maybe. depending on how nasty the encounters are, how slow they are. So it's a very smart play by her, what she's doing. She's hitting up Earth Cave, doing it all at once, and she's going to get an Orblet. Meanwhile, bottom left, Cinema B has made his way onto Carrie's floor. Going to check this chest here that is hidden behind 2 spike tiles. Will he try to take on Carrie? Levels, little low, possibly. Not a whole lot of HP. I don't remember how many ribbons he has. It could be dangerous. But sometimes you've got to live dangerously. Gargoyles. These have blaze. There it is. Well, not low rolls. Poor white mage gets annihilated. Loot find by Cheeseinator. We knew he was in go mode, but now he's officially in go mode. Right you are, MG Weirdo. Yes, with our overlay, we need to actually fix the overlay to put a timer spot. I believe so. It's one of those things that it's in progress. I apologize for everybody out there. I can give you a little update from it real quick. We are at 57 minutes in. I apologize for not having a timer for everybody out there. But yeah, we're about 57 minutes in. And it looks like Cheeseinator is burning off encounters. Going to grind, it looks like, in the Hall of Giants. Agamas have been found right there. Okay. Yeah, we have an Agama grind here. How far is he going to go? I don't expect a very long grind here. I don't know what his levels are. 21, yeah. I don't expect Cheeseinator to grind for very long. At level 24, the Masa gets an extra swing. Bottom left, we get our first look at Carry 2. We have Tempers. We've got Fade Cast. Cinema Bay, I think, is going all out. He really... Ooh, a fasted carry. That's not what you want to see turn 1. Ice Sword Swing. 5 hits for 81 damage. Oh boy. Casting some more spells. More Fade. We casting Tempers? What are we casting? Lit 3. Okay. So, ooh. Carried down. 2 turns. Very low HP rolled by Carry. That is an orb lit by Cinema B. Caught up in the orb count with Cheeseinator. Carry 2, not a lot of HP. I'm sorry, Carry 1 doesn't have a lot of HP. Kraken 1 doesn't have a lot of HP. So far, the Fiends have rolled under half their normal values, for sure. So, being pretty generous so far. All right, Cinema B making his way through ordeals. So the rubies and ordeals, not required, not needed. Unfortunate for Cinema B, but at the same time, kind of understandable. Still looking for the bottle, which leads to the loot. Tiernex has joined us. Welcome, Tiernex. Are you winning? Of course you are. You know why? Because you are here watching and supporting our ducklings. You are the champion, the hero we needed. Thank you, sir, for coming by. Sunsword pickup by Cheeseinator. So, all 3 of his characters right there are rocking out some nice items there. Katana on the ninja, Masa on the knight, And a Sun Sword on that red mage. So the only difference between Shadow Wisher and Cheesinator at this point is Cheesinator is in go mode. Shadow Wisher is not, unfortunately. Now, what's interesting is so it's going to take a little bit more time, obviously, since Shadow Wisher is going to clear out the next floor of chests while Cheesinator goes through. So you're going to see this lead in Earth Cave kind of extend, and basically Cheesinator is going to be out of this before Shadow Wisher will be. The important part is going to be, where does Shadow Wisher go from here? Does she go to the sea floor and take on Kraken? Because if she goes on the Kraken side, she's going to find that bottle and she'll be in go mode. If she doesn't go that way, it could be a little bit longer. Now, the good news is she's already cleared out all of the volcano floors, so she can go mode that. But if she goes to Mirage and does the air floor, that could unfortunately spend more of her time, because there's a lot of chests there, and she's got to check all of the Mirage or the floating castle chests. Cheesinator's about to give us our first look at Lich. So far, Kraken has been a pushover. Carry has been a pushover. Will Lich be the gatekeeper? Stay tuned. And it looks like no respect given by Cheesinator. Swing. Nuke. Swing, swing. So far, Lich has more HP than both of them. And that's the second one. So Lich had more HP than both of them combined. Wow. And speaking of ironic there, as I completely forgot... Ooh, that's a nice tile by Cinema Bay there. Cinema B. The slime tile was found by Cinema B, so that's a nice tile if you need to get some experience. But the earth and the volcano floors are right next to each other. Both Titans East and Titans West led to fiend dungeons. Cheesinator's in go mode. Shadow Wisher is one loose item away. It is the bottle that leads to loot. Where's the bottle? It is on Kraken side in the Sea Shrine. It is in the Sharknado room. Actually, right below where you first enter the Sharknado floor. So it's not very far, but you got to go there. Shadow Wisher about to take on Lich. Now, she is a bit lower level compared to Cheesinator. We've seen that Lich actually had a decent amount of HP. Probably about 500-600. I say 500-600, and it's not terrible. And Cheesinator already made his way to Carry. We know Carry has no HP. This should be just about dead here with a good nuke roll. I'm going to say that's going to be a dead Carry. Yep, there it is. Cheesinator, 3 orbs down. Shadow Wisher working on her first orb. Cinema B already has 1. Will Lich go down this one? Yes, it is. Shadow Wisher on the board, trying to catch up to Cheesinator. Cinema B grinding on these slimes. Very good amount of experience here. Cheesinator buying equipment. I think gonna get some pro rings. Maybe? What's your... No, it's the gold bracelets. Good buys here. Get those casters some armor. They need it. Does he make sure to equip those gold bracelets? I didn't actually see him equip it. Gonna buy... So Cheesinator's gonna choose to buy his spells. Very good here. Level 2 has Ruse. Very good spell. Very handy to have there. Especially for that knight. I know we have the defense sword and stuff like that, but it allows you to call... or to use that Ruse spell more often. The SVJ chest? Oh no, Shadow Wisher's ninja taking a dirt nap, but life 2 will bring him back to health. Oh, she didn't heal before that, so... Not the worst. Could have been deadly, though. An AoE spell could have ended that little dive down into Volcano. She might have had to reset. Gotta watch the health of your light warriors over those lava tiles. She's either going down to Lefane, which is Elfland. Gonna get those spells down there. I believe Fast or Temper was down there. We're getting our look at Carrie. Probably has about 300 HP, maybe? Maybe 400 at most. You probably could have casted Quad X and killed him. Yeah, I was going to say, that was about 300 HP. Cast a Quad X, kill him first turn, no problem. Shadow Wisher, second orb lit. Trying desperately to catch up to Cheesinator at this point. Alright, Shadow, where are you going? A lot of people say to go to the air dungeon. Where Tiamat is. Is that where she is going there? She cast Tent. Didn't cast a house. So I don't know how many spell casts she used, but that could affect her dive here. Yes, yes, Asher. The bottle, yes. So both loose items were there. One was on Mermaid side, right next to the incentivized chest, which was the rod. And then the other one is the one that we were just talking about, which is in the Sharknado room in the south room. So Cinema B making their way to Canaria, getting the adamant, getting their tail, going to be able to class promote. Level 16 for Shadow Wisher. Cheesinator is about level 22-ish, 23 at most. He's in go mode. None of the others are at this point yet. And he's making the dive for this last orb. He is showing why he is a little bit more of a veteran compared to these other two runners. But Shadow Wisher is making a case here. She's doing a great job. Making some solid decisions here. And putting on a heck of a fight against Cheesinator here. Trying... Ooh, unrunnable seafood party platter. Cinema B checking out the Cardia Isles. About to talk to Sarda. Sarda has the crystal, which you need to talk to. That gives us the slab and the Lofane. Well, it's actually not required because the crystal ends up leading all the way to a ribbon. So the progression-wise, not needed. An extra ribbon, always helpful, considering it's kind of easy to get to. In this case, we don't have to make the long walk down to Lefane. Cheesinator found some nice EXP there off of those rock goals. Chimera's rolled big, over 330 health. Those are always annoying. And Shadow Wisher, like I said, I think she forgot to save with a house. Saved with a tent before going down here. So I don't think she had enough casts of anything to actually be able to kill a lot of this stuff. So she's being forced to attack each of these enemies one at a time. Now, the question becomes, let's get some Bless RNG in here for one reason and one reason only. Does Cheesinator talk to our Lord and Savior, the Robot Chicken Warmack? It is not required. The Warmech, the robot chicken, is patrolling. Will Cheesinator give us what we want? And as I had pointed out earlier, unfortunately, Shadow Wisher does not know where that incentivized last loose item is, so she has to check these chests. So, with the patrolling Warmech, once he goes through this teleporter, will he fight it? Basically, what that requires is you will see a robot, kind of like in Waterfall, walking around or patrolling. If you talk to it, you engage in it. You enter in a fight. I don't think Cheesinator is going to do it. I would love to see it, but doesn't look like Warmech's going to satisfy us, so... Unfortunate. We don't get to see the Warmech today. Aegis pickup by Shadow Wisher. That's a nice item there. Gives you the resistance to the stone poison. So that knight can't be stoned. It's it helps the knight to get the poor man's version of a ribbon. The very rare encounter for Cheesinator is the double fighter on the Bridge of Destiny. So that's a nice little find there. Alright. We're about to take on Tiamat. What does Tiamat have for us? Some fasts. A hold cast by Tiamat. Misses. Katana swing. 5 hits, 163. Masa swing. 10 hits, 635. This Tiamat is big. Do we see any retribution? Ooh, Brackstrat's coming out. Ineffective. Brackstrat again. Ooh, Tiamat will not be denied. But 10 hits, 252. Cheesinator has now officially entered Temple of Fiends Revisited Go mode. He can go 2,000 years in the past and take on Chaos. Didn't waste many heals. Looks like he's going right in there. Not messing around. He's about to give, as Asher has pointed out in chat, going to give Chaos a good talking to. Shadow Wisher. Ooh, finds the game clencher. Casts Bane when used in combat. Can instantly kill things. Doesn't have a very high chance of doing it against the fiends, but you never know. That 3 and 256 chance gives you a chance. And the mage tile was rolled over to where the phantom is. It's a good thing nobody found where the phantom is, because it doesn't give any experience, and it hits like a train. Cheesinator has entered 2,000 years in the past. About to make his way into the earth floor. Hits like a fill. That's right, Thunder. That's right. Ooh, these worms. A lot of HP. That was about 700 damage. Oof. Cinema B doing the crystal chain here. Unfortunately, leads to a ribbon. If you'd like the flags here, I can actually link them to you. You can actually find them here. Just give me 1 second here. So, what I'm about to link is the Duckling Derby website. It'll give you kind of the overview and stuff like that. If you select the Elite 8 link, that'll give you the flags that we are playing on. But that link I gave for everybody out there, that is for the Duckling Derby that is happening next week. The tournament starts September 15th, and then the next one will be literally the next day on the 16th, and then the finals is on the 17th. This is kind of a showcase showing off of our newer players here. Shadow Wisher and Cinema B are the newer ducklings. Cheesinator is a more established duckling. So he's going to be. So they're all going to be battling. There's plenty of other ducklings that are going to be participating in this event, and they're going to be battling for a basically a promotion to the platypus rank. We call it platypus. It's kind of like that halfway duckling, halfway as a veteran kind of a rank thing. Kind of something fun that we do. Yep, it is the battle for graduation. They really did, Asher. But we did have our little post-graduation race. Something spring tournament. That's right. Cinema B kind of hanging out over in Lefane here. Got the bad news. Got the ribbon. It's not really bad news. Cheesenator disrespecting the Lich here. Attack, attack, attack. And I think that was all he did. And a fire 3, so I hope Lich 2 survives. Oh, it's a round 2. That's unfortunate. All that disrespecting, Lich 2 is still alive. Oh, slow 2. That's what we like to see. So the Cheesenator manages to get through Lich 2 finally. We are at 1 hour, 16 minutes, and Cheesenator is about to take on Carry 2. You got some fast going. Masa swing, unbuffed. 5 hits, 538 with at least a crit. 4 hits, 120. Ink comes out. Oh no, darkness. The main damage dealers are blind. How are they going to do damage? What's going to happen? Katana swing. 9 hits for 375. See you later, Carry 2. Shadow Wisher taking on Tiamat. Tiamat was pretty beefy. Didn't really do a whole lot. So Shadow Wisher should have a relatively easy time. But you can't be for sure. Katana swing. 4 hits, 17 damage. Kraken 2 has been pulled by Cheesenator. He's not playing around. A defense. He's casting Ruse on that knight. That knight is going to be the wipe protection. Looks like Kraken 2 does not hit very hard. That was a gold armored red mage that only got hit for 252 HP. Red mage tries to swing back. Doesn't do much. Big hit by the Masa. Kraken 2 is down. The real gatekeeper that usually happens is not this time. Cinema B and Shadow Wisher trying to catch up. Shadow Wisher has 3 orbs lit, about to make her way to the sea floor. The sea floor will hold the progression that is the bottle that leads to the loot. It is the Team Edward fan club. They are not happy with Cheesenator, but he managed to escape. That's right. Kraken Honda was not Kraken Honda today. There was no one-shots. No one-punches. Tiamat 2 pull. That ninja is in the front line, going to absorb a hit or 2. Kraken hit, or a Katana hit. 7 hits, 191. So that's a good amount of absorb. That was a 6-hit Tiamat. 6 hits. Wow. Get that defense up as soon as possible, Cheesenator. Oh yeah, see, look at that damage. That Tiamat is bringing the hurt. Oh! That was close. A big hit by... Okay. Cheesenator should have this as long as no nuke cast. If there's a nuke cast here, that knight could die. Healing up. Alright, we are now officially nuke saved. At least for the night, it is safe from the nuke. Oh, the red mage! Oh, okay, that was a good hit. Through Tiamat 2. That 11 hit, or that 1,100 hit saves the day. You do not want to play around with that Queen of Dragons. She was the gatekeeper today. And Asher brings up a good point. Knight having any sort of life was key. That you don't see Tiamat having 6 hits very often. She brought the hurt, and you've seen it. Even through 2 Castaroos, still did almost 300 damage to a Knight. Shadow Wisher, top left, about to find the bottle for go mode. Cheesenator, about to take on the ultimate Fiend Chaos. We have not seen anything except for Slow 2. There's nukes, there's nuclears. There's the bottle for Shadow Wisher. She is in no mode. I say no mode because she doesn't have the loot yet. More defenses, more ruses being cast by Cheesenator here, playing it safe. That Knight is in that 3rd slot, trying to get an RNG loop if things go badly. More fast casts, more power bonks, more tempers. Little katana swing. 5 hits for 234. Not a very highly evasive chaos here. We should see a good swing here. Not very strong either. 5 hits for 421. Another katana swing. We're looking pretty good on Cheesenator's side. Outside of anything very deadly here. A nuke cast before, with bad turn order. Cheesenator should have this. Katana swing. 4 hits, 318. Great crits. More invis, keeping that Knight up. 6 hits for 1308. GG Cheesenator. Official SRL time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 23 seconds. That Knight brought the pain. Got the revenge. Said, no more time loop chaos. We ain't dealing with you today. Shadow Wisher is in no mode, making her way to take on Kraken 1. Then she'll do the bottle turn in to get the loot, and she will be doing Temple of Fiends. Cinema B, a little bit behind. Has the rod already. Just needs to go crack inside to pick up that bottle, and he'll be in go mode. Kraken over here wasn't very strong. It should die. Has about 400 HP at the most. I would assume once this Knight hits here, that Kraken is going to go down. We're going to have Calamari today. There it is. Squid. Cinema B is doing very well. If that is true, as Asher has pointed out, it is 1 week in FFR. He is doing a very nice job of this. It's not easy. With all the shuffleness, being able to take notes and stuff like that, doing a great job. And I'm going to get Cheesenator in here very shortly, so I apologize if I'm a little quiet here in a second. So Shadow Wisher, about to talk to a tiny fairy. Here, have your loot. Go take on chaos. Save the world. Shadow Wisher says, hold my Cosmo. I'll take him out. Going to Marsh. Now, it's Northwest Castle that is Temple of Fiends. I think she wrote her notes down, unfortunately, so this is going to be a little awkward here. Yep, she's going to have to make her way back. She's going to have to save. I've done this. I have done this big time. And let me tell you, I even had a mid-game interview after doing that. They're like, so can we pull you up to have an interview? And that's what I ended up doing. So, Shadow Wisher has officially entered Temple of Fiends Revisited. About to take on the alt. That's right. How's it going, Greggly Puff? That is the. How do we say this? He is one of the people behind this Duckling Derby. Him, Dark Moon, partnered up with, as I mentioned earlier, Moist Mogwai, Mama Duck herself, Lord Fizzlebeef. Kind of made this whole thing come together. So, Greggly, thank you. You're the man, the myth, the legend. It's the Duckling Boss. I like that MG weirdo. The Duckling Boss from now on is now Greggly Puff. I like it. Cinema B making his way back down the mermaid side. I thought already had the rod. Maybe I was mistaken? Or maybe he doesn't realize that he's already checked this. Shadow Wisher still making her way down. Trying to get to the 2,000 years in the past to take on the Ultimate Fiend. Runs into the Purple Worms. Purple Worms have a lot of HP, as you saw that Night Swing for 525. Still couldn't kill it. Cheesehander is in chat. We are trying to get him in here. But meanwhile, Shadow Wisher on the Earth floor, about to take on Lich 2 here. Cinema B making his way after double checking the mermaid side, is going to go crack inside, going to get that bottle that is going to lead to go mode. So, but he's got a battle of going through two other dungeons once he completes this one. So he's got a little bit of a journey still. Oh, the red mage. Red wizard goes down. I didn't actually see what happened. Oh, nuke! Oh, Cheesenator. Cheesenator played with fire, went to round 2. Shadow Wisher went to round 2. The difference was she found out Lich with nuke, and Cheesenator was able to get through without seeing the nuke. So that's our first nuke we found. That's right, Cheesenator. Respect the Lich. I keep trying to tell everybody. Lich loves cake. Give him the quake. Make him fall into the crack. Cinema Beast. Carry 2 is being pulled by Shadow Wisher. First hit by Masa, 2 hits 88, decent amount of absorb. Fire 3 doesn't do a whole lot. Katana swing, 3 hits, 295. We finally get our buffing going on. Bad turn order, but we'll take it. Round 2. Cheesenator has just joined me in the broadcast booth. I will get to you in very momentarily once carry 2 is down. 6 hits, 510. See you later, carry 2. Cheesenator, GG to you. Well played, well done. I don't even know where to start at this moment. You played so well. I think he's so excited. His mic is not working at the moment. Cheesenator, when you get a chance, GG to you, sir.
Hey, I'll just,
There we go. Hello, Cheesenator, and welcome to the broadcast booth. You came in
Hey.
first place and showed a very, very consistent run. Did a very nice job overall. How'd you feel at the start? How'd you feel in the middle game? Because there was a lot of swapping between you and Shadow Wisher from the early game to the mid game, and then finally in the late game where you guys switched again.
Yeah, hey, thanks. I had some Discord settings issues. I hadn't actually done a voice chat on this machine yet. Anyhow, I had a lot of fun with this one. I don't think I played totally up to my own standard. You saw that there were like a couple of awkward moments, like where I dropped my dragon armor and then reset about a minute's worth of activity, and I was running around without save items for a lot of the inner sea, and then like dove earth and wiped and stuff. So some things didn't go super smoothly, but from about the floater onwards, I felt okay. The fact that the floater was like free in a shop was a little disappointing, but it was pretty expensive, so I guess people would have had to route it in some gold already to be able to get it, so I didn't feel too far behind when I picked it up.
And it's interesting that you say that, and I'll get to that point very shortly. As Shadow Wisher is about to pull Kraken 2. Kraken 2 really wasn't much of a gatekeeper, really didn't hit very hard. So I don't expect anything horrible for Shadow Wisher. As that ninja hits for less than 100, but that knight hits big for 600. So once Kraken 2's dead here, I'm going to kind of just go over something real quick with you about... Actually, I was going to actually talk to you about that floater. Big hit by the knight. See you later, Kraken 2. Cheesenator, you were actually the last one in the air, if you can believe it. Just because...
Because I went through like 2.5 floors of earth, and I did marsh and all this other stuff before checking the Crescent Lake location.
And that was one of the things I was worried about too, was whether or not you were going to go to Onrak or Onrak, just because that it was available too. But you went to Crescent. Shadow Wisher has pulled Tiamat 2 here. Tiamat 2 is a beast. 6 hits, already destroyed the backline Red Wizard here. If Shadow Wisher does not get up some invades here, that knight and ninja can basically be two-shotted, as you just seen there. A big hit for 447 damage. That knight is already on one knee.
Fortunately, this Tiamat's HP isn't that high. I think once I finally swung with a couple of buffs, I did 1100 and took her out. So I'm thinking Shadow Wisher gets through this, before enough punches come through.
You are absolutely right. I thought Tiamat 2 had a lot more HP, but if you played with your food, which she didn't do, I mean, you kind of played with your food, but, you played a more defensive option there, and it almost cost you, because the Tiamat 2 hit hard. And she managed to get through, so interesting. But as you've seen there, when a Tiamat has 6 hits, either evade or you better out DPS her.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to a fight like that, I knew that I had max evasion available plus a ribbon on a knight with life, so as long as that nothing happened to the knight, which I ensured by going to evade cap, it was fine. It just, Tiamat happened to punch out every other character. But regardless, here's Shadow Wisher's Chaos fight.
Yeah, Shadow Wisher is now on Chaos. We didn't really see a whole lot on a Chaos here. Didn't really have much of an attack damage. See, 121 with 1 hit. That's not going to be too much to be afraid of. I'm assuming Shadow Wisher is going to end this very soon. End this time loop. Help save the world. Come on, Shadow Wisher. Finish it for us. Cinema B has found the bottle. Going to get that turned in. Be able to go in go mode. Has 2 more dungeons to do. More tempers. Lit 2, that's a free cast. We'll take Lit 2 from Chaos any day. More tempers. On the Ninja. 4 hits for 466 on that night. Inferno, that's a decently damaging spell, but thankfully we have enough ribbons. We got ice armor, so that helps protect it. More tempers being tossed out.
Where were those extra ribbons?
Chaos is down. Shadow Wisher ends the time loop, comes in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour and 35 minutes. GG to Shadow Wisher.
GG.
To answer your question for the ribbons, you would have to talk to our tracker, Thier. He is the man that has been keeping me up to date.
Sounds
And
like one was in Volcano.
Yeah, and I'm going to definitely pass the buck over to Thier because, that's my job as a commentator.
Right on. But there was a question in chat for me. Why did I do the C check? I had a lot of chests open in the game before I was in the air. Like, I had a lot left I could have done, so it was just like, well, I'm in the area. I know I need to do this fiend now, and there's still 2 loose out there. I deduced that at least one of them would be required for go mode by then, so I just was sort of like, let's just start full clearing something. And so I happened to get lucky that C was the first thing I tried, as opposed to like Sky or Volcano or like the bottom of Earth.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Also, is you went there probably a little better level wise because you did both mermaids and then you killed Kraken. Shadow Wisher and Cinema B, actually went to Mermaid side, found the early rod, but then they left because trying to take on a Kraken at their levels was kind of dangerous. So it was kind of fortunate for you, but you did you did a nice job of routing it in, and it happened to work out very well.
Indeed. And I think we've got our other interviewer in here.
Yep, here I am.
Shadow Wisher, welcome to the broadcast booth. GG to you. This is your second race, I think, correct?
Yep.
How you feeling here? I mean, you got second place today. You played very well, from at least what I've seen.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about your early and mid game there, because I was telling Cheesenator, you two kind of swapped places. Cheesenator kind of had the early start off the lead. Then you took the lead in the mid game, and then Cheesenator took over later on. But it was a nice little head-to-head race between you two there.
Honestly, it was just some of my routing probably could have been better. I just probably took some risks I didn't have to, but
I mean, experience comes, and you will learn to be able to do all that. We don't expect that right away, but you're showing a lot of promise. And the important part is you're coming out, and you're not afraid to be on the broadcast in front of the many fans out there, and you're doing well. I'm hoping you're having fun. I'm having fun watching you learn the game and race and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always a blast. It's just getting over the nerves that I still get. My hands are still shaking.
Oh yeah, race nerves are real. They especially either when it's higher stakes or just earlier on when you sort of don't have a lot of time, especially on restreams yet, it's a lot easier to get really nervous.
Yep.
Now, one interesting thing here, we did not see the robot chicken war mech. Unfortunately, our runners chose not to take on the patrolling war mech. Were any of you considering taking him on if you happen to find him patrolling that maze?
I just keep forgetting that it's set to patrolling on day 1 and day 2. I know it's required day 3, but I'm used to vanilla. Patrolling is a very uncommon flag, so I always kind of heal up on the Bridge of Destiny and just assume I'll run into a war mech, and of course, it wasn't going to happen on this flag set.
Given I was leveling on the go and the levels I had in Sky, I probably would not have. Because war mech can be mean if you're not prepared. Although, how about that Lich 2?
I was actually going to bring that up because Cheesenator fully disrespected Lich. Didn't actually see the nuke because of the turn order in the second round. Unfortunately for you, you got to the second round and you got nuked and took out one of your red wizards. So
I got nuked twice.
that was a nuke twice. I missed the first nuke. So
yeah, I got nuked twice, and it's like, good thing I have life on my knight.
life was key because that Tiamat 2 was a train. It was, low health, but hit like a truck.
Yeah, I kind of YOLO Topher again. Better prepared than before, but I YOLO'd it.
Yeah, if your magic and gear and levels are fine, especially with a safe character like a knight with life, like you can afford to kind of YOLO an unclamped Topher, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
For just kind of running and gunning.
Cinema B here, a little update for everybody. Has defeated Tiamat, 3 orbs lit, going into the earth floor here. Gonna go mode it, doesn't have to check a whole lot of chests here. Lich is not very difficult here. I did enjoy the fact that I believe, oh no, that was Lich 2, where Cheesenator was not able to ultimately disrespect Lich 2 in one turn. But Gargoyles with Blaze is a dangerous thing here. I believe Cheesenator almost wiped to it, and Shadowish, I believe you almost wiped to that too.
I didn't encounter Blaze Gargoyles, but I encountered a lot of other stuff that was dangerous in Earth, which is why I only made it through 2.5 floors the first time. There were a lot of unrunnables, and one of them had Rub and like Glance.
And it's been pointed out by Thier, our tracker here. Cinema has 3 ribbons, so he says, you have Blaze? Haha, that doesn't faze me at all.
Yeah, finding all 3 ribbons this time was nice. Unlike last week, where I found none.
It's really crazy how much one ribbon can change your whole mentality going into Temple of Fiends Revisited because of the amount of instant death spells that the fiends have in general. Really can terrify people, or can really ruin your day.
Rub just in case there was a crack, but I never saw one.
I seen that casted. That was a very nice call there. If you don't have enough ribbons, basically protects you against most instant death spells. It's basically like a pro ring.
I was gonna say Shadow Wisher. I liked your party choice for this flags. I think double red or red black. I can't quite decide between.
It was fighter thief double red.
And the middle day. It's kind of like it's pulling me one way and the other. I'm not sure if black belt or fighter knight are better, and I've tried both and I've had some success on each, and this one might come down to preference, but it really depends where the grind tiles fall, and there were some good grind tiles in today's seed.
I didn't really see any tiles to really grind on, which is why I leveled as I went.
There was a Agama on the left side of Earth that didn't advance the encounter table to fight on, so had I come into this one with a black belt, I just would have leveled there in Earth Cave.
Yeah, with the shuffled spike tiles was nice. We actually seen the slime tile by Cinema Bay or B. He used it.
Where were the slimes?
Have to admit, I do not remember off the top of my head, because by the time he was doing that, you were in Temple of Fiends, or you're actually in Go mode. So
possibly Volcano, because I didn't check any of the tiles in Volcano.
Might have been. I remember coming across them, but I couldn't tell you where.
All right, we're about to take on the Fiend of Earth, Lich. We got some Fade casting, some Nuke casting. No Cake being casted. That's unfortunate. Give the Lich the Cake.
I saw Quake in the shop. It might have been at a higher level.
It was level 7. That's right. I remember it.
You always remember where Quake is, dang.
That's right. It was in Gaia, level 7.
Cool. I've got to head out to dinner. I'll let you commentate this Topher dive here for Cinema B, but thank you for running this tonight. Hope we get more ducks for our next showcase, and I'm also looking forward to the 3-day duckling tournament.
Yes, that is next week. Cheesinator, our winner for tonight. GG to you. You have a great dinner. Have a great night.
See ya. GG, Shadow Wisher.
GGG's.
So, Cinema B has officially entered Temple of Fiends. About to go 2,000 years in the past to take on the ultimate fiend, Chaos, but first has to make it through his generals of sorts, the other fiends that have been revived. Shadow Wisher, anything else you kind of wanted to mention or talk about during this seed? I have to admit, I mean, from what I've seen, you played a very consistent game there. It was unfortunate, though, that I pointed out earlier where you had to do that you did that sea dive on the mermaid side. You found the loose item, and then you left. But then you were basically forced to check a bunch of chests that you probably didn't want to check because on Kraken's side was the other loose item. So you had to spend all this time clearing out Earth. You had to spend all this time clearing Volcano and Air. Unlike the winner Cheesinator, which didn't have to do that because he happened to go into that other side first. So
Yeah, if I had been better leveled, I probably would have gone through or had something to help against Kraken, but I didn't really have much in terms of levels, spell casts, and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably should have at least looked a little more, but it's just the way the game is. The route is as random as the game.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not trying to say that you were wrong. I probably would have done the exact same thing under that situation. I think most runners would have done that. Some of them, the more aggressive runners, I think would have also have made that dive down on Kraken side just to kind of see what's there. With the Bane level 1, you might have been able to at least try it. Maybe Bane's got not a great chance of killing Kraken, but
if I had grabbed it, maybe.
Oh, I didn't notice that you didn't pick up Bane.
Yeah, I didn't grab it. I probably should have.
Yeah. The Bane is a decent spell here as Cinema B has made his way halfway through Earth Cave, 3/4 of the way through the Earth floor. About to take on Lich 2. Doesn't save. Red Wizard, White Wizard, Black Wizard, all nukeable. Does Lich get the turn and cast? No, slow 2 first. Okay. Round 2. Lich 2 has a decent amount of HP. Excalibur doing a little bit of work here. Just disrespecting the Lich, but manages to make it through. No nukes were casted by Lich.
I guess I saw them all.
You really did. You found 2 of the 3 that were available off of these fiends. No punish at all. That's okay. Sometimes, your aggressiveness can be rewarded, and that's what happened right there. I'm going to call it aggressiveness. Carry 2. Does not heal, does not check the HP, just goes right in. Okay, I like this. So much disrespect, as Gregory Puff has pointed out. The boss, the duckling himself. White shirt being casted by the White Wizard. Fast on that knight that is carrying the Excalibur, not the Masa. Excalibur does a decent work here. Fire 3 is not going to do a whole lot, except for the Black Wizard does not have the ribbon. The ribbon is on the Knight, the Red Wizard, White Wizard. Thinks it over. Casts Saber on that Red Wizard that has the Masa. Big hit by the Excalibur. 6 hits, 1,000 damage. Carry 2 is down. We know those 2 were not very bad. Yep. And as Shadow Wisher is pointing out, she agrees. The first 2 were kind of pushovers, minus Lich 2 that had the double nukes, but
Kraken wasn't that bad either.
Yeah, Kraken 2 wasn't too bad either. More of a Pinata. Didn't really hurt very much. But then you got to Tiamat 2, And he said, that's a lot of absorb you have. It'd be a shame if I crit you to death, and that's what he did.
Yeah, but I got through just fine.
Now, I mentioned this to everybody out there. The reason why I bring up Tiamat 2 and the crits is Shadow Wisher almost got one-shotted by a Tiamat 2. 6 hits, hit for about 500 damage, and her knight was on one knee instantly. That is terrifying.
Just a lot.
So we got some white shirts being casted by Cinema B here. Power gauntlets being casted. Lit 2 is a free turn by Kraken. Thank you, Kraken 2. What does he decide to do here? Looks over the spells. Looking over again. Casting Saber for that red wizard, Masa wielding red wizard. I'm going to cast a fast maybe on the red wizard. Nope, still looking it over. He's got Temper. He's got Lock 2. Casting Lock 2. Making sure that his attacking champions have a better chance of actually hitting their attacks. 2 hits for 77 damage. As you can clearly see, that Kraken 2 gets walloped by the knight for almost 1,000 damage. He is onto the air floor. About to take on Tiamat 2. This is the true gatekeeper of sorts. Relatively low HP. And as I've mentioned several times, hits like a truck. Most of Cinema B's characters will get one shot here, except for that knight. But that knight can basically be almost one-shotted. We've seen Cheesinator's knight almost get hit for 300 damage. As you see there, almost 900 damage on that white wizard. Basically broken in half. Temper's coming out. This Tiamat should die relatively quickly once Cinema B starts attacking. He needs to start attacking. I'm going to stress this. Needs to start attacking to kill this Tiamat quick. There it is.
Don't think too hard. Just fight.
4 hits for 336. Yes, don't think. You don't give this person any chances. More ruse strats. Good call. Red Wizard is going to be able to save. That's almost a 900 Tiamat. I thought Tiamat had a decent amount of HP. But that should be dead right here. There we go. We're through to Tiamat 2. We are working on our way to the Ultimate Fiend Chaos. Nice job to Cinema B. I believe entered the FFR community about a week ago, really started running the seeds. And as you can see here, doing a very nice job. Looking over his HP pool, making sure that he's in decent amount of HP here. You know, if you run into the Team Edward fan club, they do a lot of damage generally to even heavy armored party comps. Airs can be deadly. Thankfully, they're casting ruse instead of attacking.
How does an air glare at you?
Well, you know, that's a good question. But he's moving the ribbon over to his black mage, or his black wizard. The white wizard, I think, is going to be used as a sacrificial pawn at this point. Leaves the knight in the top row. Generally, he might move it. He's going to heal first. He's going to respect chaos, so this is good. Didn't really show much respect to the first 2 fiends. Doesn't move the knight. We know chaos doesn't hit very hard, so this is okay. But in generally, you want to move that knight down just to be able to get your evade capped and stuff like that. Because if chaos starts hitting hard and stuff like that, you really don't want to lose your only attack champ. You know, your attacking light warrior. Fire 2.
I should get into.
Fire 2 from chaos. That's a free turn. What do we got here? We got Tempers coming out. White shirt casting Invis 2 for the party. Cinema B is getting into attacking mood here very shortly. A power bonk. That knight is going to start swinging heavy here. Unfortunately, it has the Excalibur. Excalibur does not gain the bonus damage that it would against the other fiends because there is no weakness on Chaos. You can't exploit anything on Chaos. Chaos swings for 157. That was chump change. 3 hits for 426. That's a decent amount of agility or evade from Chaos. Maybe a lock 2 at this point. Does he cast lock 2? Does he cast more tempers? No, he casts nuke. 6 hits for 1257. That was a big hit. All those hits hit there. This Chaos is on the ropes. Nuke. 208. So close. More fighting. More sabering by the red wizard at this point. More white shirts. More nuke. All right. Ooh, stop comes out. That could have been problematic. Nuke. Saber. Come on, Knight. Finish it. 4 hit 605. Cinema Bay. Cinema B has finished 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 54 seconds. GG to Cinema B. Very good, very good. Shadow, just kind of wanted to jump back to you here since here, and we're going to see if we can get Cinema B in here. I just kind of wanted to say any final thoughts or anything you kind of wanted to see, how you're looking towards the Duckling Derby that's next week on the 15th.
I'd be happy to make it to day 2.
Happy to make it to day 2. Are you telling me that you don't have confidence?
Well, I've seen some of our fellow ducks. Some of them are pretty good.
I mean, they are pretty good, but I think you're counting yourself short. I think you have a good shot on this. You're doing a very nice job with a lot of your routing and decision making. I mean, there's some minor stuff, and there's a lot of good runners that are out there that are quote unquote better veterans, more veteran. But you are making very good progress, and I think you should. I think they need to be worried about you.
Yeah, I mean, on a good day, the time I got's about what I've been getting. I've yet to get a sub 90, but, that comes when it comes.
Very true. And you know what? I think that's a good attitude towards it, Humble, but I just want to say that I'm rooting for you. I hope you kick that Cheesenator and Thunder's butt. And we're going to try and bring in Cinema B here for a little while to see if we can get him in here. And we just got him in Discord. I'm going to bring him up to the broadcast booth here. And Shadow, thank you for stopping by.
Yep. GG's.
GG
And
to
don't
you.
forget to unmute.
Thank you. And you have a good night, all right, Shadow?
You too.
Thank you. Cinema B, you got your mic working?
I think so.
There we go. GG to you. Welcome to the broadcast booth.
Oh, thank you, Dang. Yeah, this was awesome.
I'm glad you did. You know what? You did. I have to ask this to begin. How long have you been with us in the community itself?
Probably about, let me think here. It's Tuesday, probably like a little under 2 weeks.
Nice. Well, welcome. Officially welcome you because I got to do that first and foremost. So welcome you to the community.
Awesome.
Secondly, you did very well in this with a shuffled entrances, shuffled towns, and a lot of the variety of HP. All their how do I say it?
Yeah, the different scaling and
like you did very well, and I think as long as you're having fun, I see you making waves. I mean, that was an under 2 hour seed there with shuffled stuff there. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It's my first sub 2 hour on this flag set with shuffled entrances, so I felt really good about that.
Oh, nice.
I was feeling pretty good about like around like 1:15. I was like, be able to do this under 2 hours if things go well. And then I was just like, where's the loot? Where's the loot? And I actually made a pretty bad call because I realized I had some stuff I could go do, and I was right up at the waterfall, which led to the sea shrine. And that's where the bottle was that led to the loot. And twice I got up to that entrance and was like, I'd really like to go mode this, the sea shrine. I did some other stuff, and then eventually I went back and I got it. That probably only cost me about 5 minutes, but that was the one like that was clearly a mistake. By the time I had ridden my raft all the way up to the entrance, I should have just cleared the dungeon.
I was gonna,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if that's your only error in this entire thing, I'm gonna say that that's a lot better than what I've done. I have completely forgotten after killing Bicky or beating up on Bicky. I completely forgot to talk to Bicky again. So if that's your only error, you're already way ahead of me.
Well, I mean, that wasn't my only error, but that's the point that I can like say like that was definitely wrong. I was already there for it, and it turned out to be that was where the item I needed was anyway. It was a loose, and it was no way to know that, but yeah, I felt like I've done this flag set like 3 or 4 times now, and kind of have some of like, and I got like the floater relatively early without messing around with too many different things, so it went pretty smooth. But yeah, I was really gunning for the sub 2 hours, so I feel super good about.
You should. That was a well-deserved, and I hope you kind of look back at it and watch kind of what Cheesenator does. He is more of the veteran duckling. Watch kind of what he does and see what you do.
Yeah. I'm actually really excited to go back and watch Cheese and Shadow Wisher run through this because I think it'll be really helpful to compare like full videos of the exact same seed with what I did versus what they did. They're making up time that I might be able to improve.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing. It's interesting is when you go back and watch it, and you'll watch a lot of runners, and some people will look at it and go, "Oh wow, that person got lucky, didn't run into this encounter and this and that." But a lot of it is you look at it and you go, "Why did they make that decision?" And then you look at it and you go, "Wow, that actually makes sense." They did it this way, and it allowed them to do this, this, and this, and this, and that's how they took the advantage lead on me, if you want to say. And then it also helps to watch them and how they approach encounters, the fiends and stuff like that. Because in some cases you want to be overly aggressive on fiends. In some cases you want to be overly protective. So it's really interesting to watch how different runners approach each fiend.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely some stuff I've learned. I forgot to do it on Chaos, but on Tia 2, I know I moved my fighter to the back because just to try and keep your tempered hard hitter alive as long as possible. And Tia 2 hit hard. I mean, he only hit a couple of my guys, but they went down in one shot both times. And that was actually something that made me really glad. Early in the game, I picked up Saber on my Red Mage, thinking I can Saber up the Red Mage later on if my fighter gets taken out in one of the Fiend fights. And I didn't have to do that, but I was glad that strategizing was in a place where I could make that call at the beginning of the game to pick up Saber on a Red Mage, thinking of the Fiend fights. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that Tiamat 2 had well over 1,000 HP. 6 hits, basically almost one shots your knight. We seen on Cheesenator's side, he had a double rused up knight. It lost half its HP in one shot. Shadow Wisher had her knight basically almost got hit for 600 damage. So yeah, that Tiamat brought the pain. So
that's another thing that I was thinking that I probably should have done is picked up ruse on my knight at the end too. would have been a good call. But I was just kind of like in like this like I don't have time to do stuff like that if I'm going to get sub 2 hours. So
And
I did think about it, but then I was like, I'm just going to go for it. Especially, I had a really good defensive gear. I had the dragon armor. I had 3 ribbons. So I just felt like, you know, I was a little lower level than I usually go through the Temple of Fiends, but I had such good equipment with the Invis shirt or the white shirt. Super good armor for everybody. So I was just like, you know what, let's go. We've got the power bonk. We've got the white shirt. We should be able to make it happen.
yeah, and like I said, you know, and it's really nice to have all that stuff. One thing, I don't know if you had the defense sword.
Oh, I did have the defense sword.
That's something to be
Think
useful
of
of.
using that.
Now, one thing I will point out, I don't mind the Excalibur. I don't know if you knew this, but Chaos actually does not have a weakness. So Excalibur loses its bonus damage against Chaos.
Oh, yeah, that is a good point. I did know that in the back of my head. It wasn't what I was thinking. Because I was kind of thinking, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even think about it at the time. If I was, I don't know if I would have left the mass immune on the third or moved it over, but
Well,
I probably would have because I wanted to have 2 people who could hit hard.
that's fair.
Was my plan. Because I was just like, Saber gets you up there a lot faster than having people cast Temper on you. So, and I purposefully saved like 3 Temper charges on my Black Wizard just in case my Knight got leveled by something. I could start buffing up the red Wizard too.
Yeah. I mean, it all comes down to experience, what you're comfortable with, what your teams have, and you came in with a plan. That's what you did. You executed it, and you made it through in one dive. So,
Yeah.
it as much as I want to come in, or as much as I'm trying to say, this, and this, and this, you came with your plan. You did it. You executed it. It's done. Like, I can say this and this and this, but that's not going to matter in this seat because you've already done it. So hindsight, whatever. At this point, moving forward, maybe you look at it and say, maybe I want to use the Masa this time because of this reason.
Right. Cool. But yeah, but I had an absolute blast. I was, like I did a practice seed of this yesterday and another one over the weekend. Watched Cheese do one of these seeds yesterday too. So I felt like I was pretty prepared. Kind of refined my note-taking system a little bit, which is pretty basic. It's just a sheet of paper with all the locations already written down, so I can just be like, this is this, this is this. But that was a blast, actually. I'm like kind of riding high off of that. I feel.
And you know what? I'm actually going to send you something that's, if you have multiple monitors, I'll do it after this, after the broadcast and stuff like that. But Cinema B, any final thoughts or anything like that you want to say before I do some closing?
No, not really. I mean, I do want to, like, everyone that I've like met on the Discord and on Twitch like has been super awesome. A lot of good advice, a lot of really friendly people sharing their knowledge. I definitely think that the whole duckling system is really cool because it gives you like kind of a group of peers to play with. And yeah, and even I did one of Show's Nans the other day, mostly to get SRL all set up and make sure that I was dialed in. But yeah, everyone's been super awesome. So it's just like I'm having a lot of fun running this game. I played the original vanilla one a bunch when I was growing up, and so it's cool to have the randomizer because I just love the sort of on-the-fly problem solving that comes with it. It just is a lot of fun for me. So I just thanks to everybody and thank you for doing the commentary tonight and really appreciate all the work that everyone's put into setting all this up.
Well, thank you for having us, and I'm happy you're enjoying it. I'm happy to be able to commentate you doing this and watching you grow and stuff like that. The boss, Gregley Puff, is in here. He's been watching you play.
Nice. Yeah, Greg has stopped by my streams sometimes on Twitch, so he's awesome. Just great meeting all these people.
Yeah. So with that, I am Dang Wu. I'd like to thank Speed Gaming, you the fans out here. This makes it enjoyable with all the fans that came out here. Gregley Puff, Asher. There was so many people that kind of came in here. New people. MG Weirdo had stopped by. Danny I seen in here. CSW Jubs was in here. I mean, there were so many people that came in and chatted and allowed me to kind of enjoy commentating and stuff like that. So once again, Speed Gaming, thank you. Gregley Puff, Dark Moon, Moist Mogwai, Mama Duck herself, Lord Pizzle Beef, Papa Duck herself for kind of putting this whole entire thing on, getting it set up on Speed Gaming. So, okay, I'm done talking. You all have a great night. Thank you for coming by, stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. Good night, and see you next weekend, or next week, I should say, on the 15th, where the Duckling Derby officially begins. Good night.